At Dad's birthday, my brother announced, "Pack your bags, loser. This house is going up for sale." Everyone cheered and raised their glasses. I stepped outside and made one phone call. 10 minutes later, the screaming started. See, 18 months ago, when Mom had her stroke, I discovered something shocking. They were 5 months behind on mortgage payments. The bank was starting foreclosure proceedings within weeks. My family had no clue. Mom was too embarrassed to tell anyone. So I used my inheritance from Grandpa Joe, $195,000, to buy the house at auction. I created an LLC called Mountain View Properties and let them keep living there without saying anything. I figured I'd transfer it back once they got financially stable. Now my brother Tony thinks he can just sell it and pocket the money. He's already contacted 3 real estate agents. The irony was incredible. For 18 months, I'd been quietly paying property taxes, insurance, and all maintenance costs. Every time something needed fixing, I'd anonymously arrange repairs. The new furnace last winter, that was me. The plumbing work that got warranty coverage, also me. Tony had been living rent-free in a house I owned while constantly telling everyone how much more successful he was compared to his failure of a sister. When I walked back inside, he was sketching addition plans on napkins with his wife Carol. "We could extend the master suite," he was saying, waving his pen around excitedly. "And add a 3-season porch," Carol added, practically calculating profit margins in her head. Dad was nodding along enthusiastically. "Oh, and we could finally update that ancient kitchen." Mom sat quietly in her wheelchair, looking uncertain but not objecting. She'd always avoided family conflict. My college-age daughter Megan was on her laptop, probably already browsing apartments with the inheritance money Tony had promised her. "Actually," I said calmly, returning to the living room, "I need to share something important with everyone." Tony didn't even look up from his sketching. "If you're going to beg us to let you stay here, save it," he laughed. "Decision's already made. Carol found us an agent who can get top dollar in this market." "Really?" I said, sitting down across from him. "That's interesting because I just got off the phone with my lawyer." Dad rolled his eyes. "Sarah, honey, you can't afford a lawyer. Stop being so dramatic about this whole situation." "Patricia Williams from Williams Legal Group," I continued, ignoring his dismissal. "She specializes in real estate law." Mom finally spoke up with concern. "Why were you talking to a real estate lawyer, sweetheart?" "Because I wanted to understand what happens when someone tries to sell property they don't actually own." The room went completely silent. Even Megan looked up from her laptop. Tony's pen stopped moving mid-sketch. "What are you talking about?" Dad asked. "Your mother and I own this house. We've lived here for 22 years. You lived here for 22 years, I corrected calmly. "But you haven't owned it for the past 18 months. Mom's face had gone completely pale. "Sarah, what are you saying?" I pulled out my phone and opened the email Patricia had sent me. "According to the county property records, this house is owned by Mountain View Properties LLC. It was purchased at foreclosure auction 18 months ago for $185,000. Tony stood up so fast his chair nearly toppled. "That's impossible. There's absolutely no way." "The original owners, David and Linda Chen," I continued, reading directly from the legal documents, "defaulted on their mortgage payments. The property went through complete foreclosure proceedings." Dad grabbed Mom's hand. "Linda, what is she talking about? We never received any foreclosure notices." "You did," I said gently. "Mom just never told anyone. She was trying to handle it alone, trying to protect everyone from the financial stress." Mom's eyes filled with tears. "I thought I could fix it. I thought if I just worked more shifts, picked up extra hours." "And you would have," I said, "but the timeline got away from you." Tony was frantically scrolling through his phone. "This is insane. Who the hell is Mountain View Properties?" I looked directly at him, watching as realization slowly dawned on his face. "Tony," I said quietly, "I am Mountain View Properties." His phone clattered onto the coffee table. Carol's mouth fell open. Megan actually whispered, "Oh my God," before Dad could react. "You," Tony whispered, "you bought our parents' house." "I bought your parents' house," I corrected. "The one you just told me to pack my bags and leave. The one you've been planning to sell and split the profits from." The color completely drained from his face as the full implications hit him. "So when you called those real estate agents," I continued, standing up slowly, "you were essentially trying to sell stolen property. That's fraud, by the way." Tony collapsed back into his chair, looking like he might be sick. "Now," I said, looking around the room at my family, "let's discuss who's really packing their bags."